Hello everybody, Jim here, and today I want to talk about my druid build in the Elder Scrolls Online. Now, this druid build can fill multiple roles. Its main role is going to be a healer and a group buffer, but it also does a relatively decent amount of damage, at least compared to a lot of other healer builds. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and just get into the build. On our main bar, we are going to be using a bow. We're going to be using Growing Swarm. This puts about an 8k damage bleed for 10 seconds. Anyone around that enemy will take 883 damage every 2 seconds. But it also makes that main target take 5% more damage. So you're increasing your overall party's damage by roughly 5%. My second ability is going to be Poison Injection, and this is a 2.5k initial damage, 5k over time, over 10 seconds to be specific. And once I max it out, it'll do double the damage, so really good finisher execution ability, whatever you want to call it. It really adds to the overall damage of the class. Next is going to be Energy Orb. You cast this out. It's a big ol' yellow ball. And what it does is it heals for 886 HP every second. Someone interacts with it, we all get a 5k burst heal, along with almost 4k of whatever resource that we have the highest of, whether it's being magic or stamina. My fourth ability is going to be Echoing Vigor, which we'll get into that in just a little bit, but it's almost a 10k health over time, over 10 seconds to be specific, and it's really cheap. It only costs 2.7k stamina. Next is going to be Soothing Spores. This is going to be our main burst heal. And what it does is about 5.5k HP. And if people are near me, they'll heal for another 15% more. And it also can stack up with some of the passives. Let's go to Green Balance. Things like Accelerated Growth, when they're under 40% HP, I'll get Major Mending. So I'll be able to heal for more. All these other passives can really make this to be kind of a mega heal. So it's really, really good. Then we're going to be using Aggressive Warhorn, giving everyone 10% more Stamina or Magicka, and then 20% more crit damage for 10 seconds. So this, most healers will run this just because it's, if everyone has more resources, they can spam their abilities more. They have more of a crit damage, so when they do crit, they'll hit harder. It's really good. It's hard to explain. It's just super, super, super good. Really increases the overall DPS of your group. Now the staff, the back bar. Combat Prayer, it's pretty self-explanatory if you know anything about ESO. It can give you a minor berserk, increasing everyone's output damage by 5%, but also gives everyone minor physical and spell resistance for almost 3k. I also have this Expansive Frost Cloak, which gives a major physical and spell resistances for almost 6k. So you combine them together, it's just under 9k more resistance. Really, really, really nice there. Leeching Vines. You cast this on whoever has the lowest HP. Preferably, you want to put this on the tank. Then every time the dude gets hit, they'll receive 1,388 HP every second. And it applies a minor lifesteal on whoever's hitting the person with this ability on them. So this means any ally that's attacking, say, the boss, and they have this minor lifesteal on the boss, everyone's going to get healed for 624 HP, as long as you're attacking the boss. And that can happen every second. So it's a nice little bit of sustain there. Bullnetch is going to give me a nice stream of stamina, but also increase my weapon and spell damage by 20%, and also remove any debuffs every 5 seconds. I already went over that. Green Lotus, this makes my auto attacks heal. It's the best way to put it. 1,500 HP for lights attacks, and 4.3k HP for heavy attacks. But it also gives me Major Savagery, which increases my crit rating by about 2.6k. So it allows me to crit more often. So this is actually where a lot of my healing comes from, just by auto-attacking. Instead of having to sit around and worry about healing people, I can just auto-attack and it should sustain most of the fights, especially if I combine these two together. it should be able to sustain, say, the tank that's getting hit. And then the ultimate's going to be Healing Thicket, which does about 6.6k HP initially, and then another 2.2k every second for 6 seconds. And if someone was to leave the field, they'll still receive that healing over time for additional 4 seconds. So super strong healing ability. It only costs 90 ultimate. It's really, really cheap. Versus its counterpart, this is costing 250 ultimate. So this one takes a lot. Yeah, as far as passives go, I just grab all the passives I can get. I am running a light and medium armor set. We'll go over that now. So I'm using the Powerful Assault. Oh, sorry. I kind of got confused. I'm running the Powerful Assault, which my bow has that buff on it. And pretty much what this does is this gives max HP, max stamina, more damage, which is really, really nice. But when I cast an Assault ability while I'm in combat, me and up to 5 group members will receive 296 weapon damage and spell damage for 10 seconds. And that's what this ability is. This AoE healing ability, Vigor, will also give everyone more damage. Now, what's cool about it giving just a flat buff is all the percentages that you get, whether it's crit or minor berserk, major berserk, or whatever percentage buff you get, will always scale off of your attack rating, whatever your number is. So if I can increase your overall, your substat damage, your weapon damage, everything else will scale even harder. Instead of just adding another percentage on a percentage, me just increasing that base number will make every other percentage scale even harder. So really, really good for dungeons. Because I cast this, it puts a really nice heal on them. Also, with the Druid, all of your healing abilities will give minor toughness, which increases everyone's HP by 10%. That's why you see my health bar get bigger there. So not only do I give them more HP, I heal them, but I also give them a nice weapon buff. Really, really good. You combine that with Combat Prayer, which does 5% more damage. You're really, really building up and stacking people's damage. On top of giving everyone more resources, crit damage, you can really just buff the damage of your team. All right, next we are going to be looking at Jorvold's Guidance. Hope I pronounced that right. Giving me a little bit of healing done, magic recovery, which is nice. But while in combat, I increase the duration of all my major and minor buffs and damage shields applied to you by 40%, and to allies, of course. This is actually huge, because this build is really all about giving people buffs. So all those buffs are just going to get 40% more. So if we go into combat here, let's take Alliance Assault. Let's take Aggressive Horn, gives a 30% bonus, or I'm sorry, 10% bonus, but 30 seconds of Stamina Magica, and then a 10-second buff of the crit damage. So we got to remember that 30 seconds and 10 seconds. Now let's go into combat. Well, we got some people here, damn. Let's go into combat. Now, maybe it's, come on. Come in combat with me. There we go. Now it's 42 seconds and 14 seconds. Now, if we were to check out the Expansive Cloak, let's go ahead and put a heal up real quick. Get that going. If we were to look at the Expansive Cloak here, it is now 28 seconds. So that got a buff. Minor Berserk now lasts for about 11 seconds. So there's another perk. If I were to use Warhorn, 42 seconds of all these stats, allowing me to really stack the damage. Let's go ahead and boost all my attacks. There we go. And spam this. Boom. So, as you can see, not only do I do relatively decent damage for being a healer, but I can help my allies sustain their resources, their health, also buffing them. This is just a jack of all trades. I have tested this in dungeons and, so the harder dungeons that are in the game, and this build works really, really, really well. I have a quite easy to use burst heal, but I honestly rarely have to take that. Between this and that ability, it does a really, really good job, and I usually try to keep minor berserk on people as much as possible, which heals them. Overall, there's a lot of healing to be done with my auto attacks with this ability. Now I heal with my auto attacks. So let's find another enemy. Here's one. So let's grab both of these, just to kind of give an idea. So now we have both of these hitting me. 18.2k. Now let's cast this ability. We'll cast this on top of me as well. And you can see I'm healing. I throw a swarm and a poison on them. And boom. Dead. So yeah, that's pretty much the overall build. Like I said, it works. I have not tried it in trials, but it's just a really fun, unique build. This guy can go away. That you don't typically see like bow healers in MMOs. It's typically just like a cleric or a paladin or whatever. But this type of healer is just completely unique. Cast this, that, this, and just do damage. Dead. So yeah, if you like the build, hit the like button. Give me any feedback. Say, hey, this might work even better. Or, hey, may try this. Put that in the comments. Give me some feedback. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. And I hope to see you guys in the next video.